gentleman came into the building. I met him kind of standing by the kitchen, and I asked, is there something I can help you with? And he said, my wife died here 2 years and 20 minutes ago, and I'd like to have lunch. So we jumped right on it, and fortunately, Judy, our social worker, knew him, and we had lunch.
When you see, especially the patients that come out, this is hard for me because you kind of become part of their life or what it's about here. And you know that their life isn't going to be much longer, and you hope that you've made their last days as comfortable as they can be in a home-like setting.
We had a lady here, and this is a few years ago, and the nurses had her and her husband in the spiritual room so she could watch the birds and enjoy the view for most of the day. And when it was time to take her back to the room, the staff was really busy, so one of the girls asked me if I would help wheel the bed back into her room, and of course I did. And as we were just getting her all settled in her room, her daughter came in, and her daughter took her mom's hand, and they shared this look that was just such love. And I felt so privileged to be there to witness that.
The pathways and the natural areas through the trees, but all the beds and everything, we've watched them become just so nice in itself over the 7 years we've been here. And that's part of it, I think. Especially, both John and I really like gardening.
Darnie got a little teary-eyed there for a minute. We started at the hospice right around the time when her mom passed away. So it was kind of like foremost in our minds about the quality of life that a hospice provides, and it sort of made sense to us, put 2 and 2 together for us to come out and work.
This is my favorite. So there was a family next door, and the oldest son was getting married. And of course, at the beginning, they arranged the marriage and the wedding, and the father, of course, was supposed to be there. Well, as it progressed, he couldn't go. So the staff and the volunteers got 2 computers. One sat in the church on his chair, and the other one was in his room with a volunteer sitting next to him, holding his hand, and he could see the service. And then afterwards, the wedding party came, and one by one they went into the room and celebrated this day with them. Pretty special.
We had a polo player, and he was in our hospice, and it was wintertime, and he really, really missed his horses. And our volunteer coordinator made it possible to bring his horses up, and we brought him outside. And there's a picture of his horse laying its head on his chest. There are so many moments here. Some are just so fleeting and small, and some are bigger. And they're just so important.
My favorite story is the story of our resident moose who frequently comes to visit. One day we had a patient with her daughters in their room visiting, and their father, I guess, was a real moose fan. And anyways, the moose came up to the window that day and was peering in the window, and the girls went, "Look, Mom, Dad's here." And not long after that, our patient passed away. And it was almost like the moose came to get her. So you know what, that just touched my heart. We have funding that we need for support services, such as our bereavement group, our social worker, different avenues like that. But we also have to raise funds for equipment that we might need for patients, or supplies, like those kinds of things as well. So a lot of our funds come from the fundraisers that we do. Also, we apply for grants. We have people who remember us in their wills, and we have in memoriam bequeaths. So all of those things help us generate funds.
We all go on this journey, right? We're all going to pass. And if you can do it in dignity, in a place that totally supports you in every way, not only our resident with the family.
You know what? Our vision is to provide compassionate, specialized, holistic care for our patients, but not just for our patients, for their families too.
When Jack was here and I got supported through everybody here, volunteers, staff, everybody, people said to me, "How are you?" And I said, "Yeah." They couldn't save Jack's life, but they saved mine. Yeah.